Wildfires are a very common problem in places where droughts are also very common, like in California. If there's no water, you won't be able to calm the fire. Therefore, the fire will spread very rapidly, creating a wildfire. Last year, there was a very big wildfire in the California area, and it burned a lot of houses and structures. There were people injured. If they would have stayed there more time, they would have died. It took around 8 months to clear all of the fires that were a risk for the people. If I was the governor of the state, I would have acted before this thing spread as far as it did. The experts told us that we would be better prepared because if the water and climate didn't change, we will have a lot of problems with wildfires. It destroyed a lot of property from very famous people, like the Kardashians family house and Lady Gaga's house. So it made a big impact on the internet and in culture in general. If they weren't affected, it would have still had an impact, but it only helped to raise awareness. At the end of the day, 6 fires were preventable. So, is it all nature? If I was a resident, I would have asked myself this. Of course no. That's why we need to be aware and take our precautions with this type of natural disasters. Because if they keep throwing trash or cigarettes in places they shouldn't, more fires will come and it could cost lives in the near future. But for this one, it wasn't the case. If I was in charge of making the rules, I will make it so every person that breaks this law goes to jail for a long time. But it probably won't happen. But at least, if it happens again, they will be more prepared.
There are different causes for this environmental issue. Unfortunately, one of them doesn't depend on the human, but depends on nature. High temperatures make trees dry out and more vulnerable to catch a fire. If people change their irresponsible habits, the dry trees won't get fire in the future. The volcanic eruptions and the lightning strikes are less common, but they are also natural factors that cause forest fires. If these altercations happen, the forest will catch fire very quickly and will expand. Michael Leunig said that wildfires behave unpredictably. Another cause is equipment failure or engine sparks. When the government or a company orders to carry out some private property in forest areas, they use machinery to cut the trees and these sometimes fail and release hot sparks that consequently cause fires. If the government had been more responsible in that regard, many fires would have been prevented. Auto accidents are also often a cause of a spark fire. Wheeler Whiskey said that a wildfire was also known as a grass fire, so these accidents don't necessarily start fires through the trees. If people were more careful when driving, it would decrease the probability of fires due to this cause. It may sound a bit strange, but many fires are intentionally caused. If people had been told this directly, they wouldn't have believed it, but there are already proven cases. Arson is the act of setting fire to property, vehicles, or any other thing with the intention to cause damage. Rinkish said that arson might account for 30% of all wildfire cases. If the government had security or control over vulnerable areas, all of these fires would have been prevented.
Another cause for wildfires are uncontrolled intentional fires. Farmers often set their plot on fire so it cleans the land for them. These fires tend to spread and even go out of control. If the fire isn't totally controlled, it can grow and become dangerous. If these farming practices are not stopped, these accidental fires will keep happening. If I were able to, I would ban controlled fires. People have to take awareness about the problems our Earth's ecosystems are facing. If no one does something, the problem will get bigger. That's why we have to act fast. If the problem grows bigger, more will be lost. Not every fire is preventable, but there are many ways we can help to reduce pollution in general so the fires become less frequent. If temperatures weren't constantly rising, fires would be easily shut down naturally. I can't imagine a future where we had to lie to ourselves, saying things like, if I had been able to do something to stop this, I would have tried. If I had been a politician, I would have prevented this. Instead of the truth, if you had done anything, this wouldn't have happened. If I were the guy hearing this, I would think about the things I could do to help the planet. Al Gore, one of the most famous environmentalists, once said that everyone could make changes in the way we live our lives and become part of the solution.